Hi guys, welcome to a challenge. What do I mean? For all the ISO builders, people who want to create their own ISOs, right? It's always interesting to put your old ISO builder in the closet and keep everything as is and start afresh on a new SSD, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 3, 4, 5, who knows, right, in the future. So you'll need space. And that's often what happened in my case, right? 500 gigabyte and a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, etc. So we grow in size because 28 desktops, 35 ISOs. I mean, all of them have virtual machines. So it takes some gigabytes away. So keep your copy, if you move from one SSD to the other, as a backup. Now this thing was lying in my closet, and I looked at the size of the thing, and it's 2 terabytes big. And normally I have always some SSDs in backup, right? So I can always play around with an empty SSD, but I don't have any backups except these guys. So it makes sense to, well, at some point in time to say, okay, everything is fine, my computer system is fine. The new ISO builder is there, so the free space is 1 terabyte, and all of that shouldn't be synced. I should quit this thing, otherwise we'll have all these syncing things. That's not necessary at all. Quit Dropbox. So I'm gonna get rid of everything on this system. But if you have something lying around that's old, you can have some fun. Be Sherlock Holmes basically, and say, how can I stay rolling basically? How can I get to the latest code? And this is the kernel here. So let's investigate a little bit further. I was already amazed that I have Nvidia on this thing. So you know what I do. I have this bay. So ArcoLinux.com is the best way, I think. We advertise the way how to do it right. Pop in Windows, pop in Linux, pop in OpenSUSE, Open Garuda, whatever you like, and test. Every single operating has its own SSD. I know it costs a little bit, but it is worth it. And that's what I did. Every month buy one SSD. Stop. But after 4 or 5 years, you have a few. So that's my way of doing things. And you see all kinds of things. I have the Dropbox error, I have this as error. The wallpaper is gone. There's probably so many things that are bad. Super escape. I'm gonna kill this guy so it's not there anymore in front of me. So I've just put it in this thing, this SSD that was in the closets, and I was amazed that Nvidia was there. Now, remembering back in the days, we've told you that you should match the Linux kernel with the Nvidia, the correct Nvidia, so they're a match, right? A marriage, and one can't live without the other, and then you get this black screen. So we stopped promoting that and said, let's move to Nvidia DKMS, with the idea there will never be a mismatch because it will be built on the spot. It takes a bit longer to build, but frankly, the ISO builder is Nvidia. You see that it's a 2000 GTX something. So never ever had a black screen. That's Nvidia TKMS for you. So choices always. What's the last time I've booted this thing? I've put this on. It seems I started on May 2021 on this 2 terabyte SSD. And at some point in time I had the need to switch. I felt the need to switch, and August all normal, September, October, so November, and here I said, and that's more or less I think the holiday for me, and a work 9 days gap to do just that, right? So do the switch to the other SSD for whatever reason, I don't remember. So we are catching up, and that's the main message. November 2021. that's when we did everything, and we're now March 23. So the gap is not that immense. It's not, right? It's not that immense. So it should be possible to just update these things. Like I said, it's not important. It's just having a pastime, so it's a hobby, a fun thing. Sherlock Holmes, put on your cap and update and learn from it. So all these update videos are important. They give you knowledge. Let me put you here. Public keyring not found. Pacman key init unknown. ArcoLinux key keyring unknown. All kinds of problems, right? How do we solve them? Okay, let's first have a look at npacman. Is that the word compartmentalize? I think it is compartmentalize. I do hope I say it correctly, but think in pieces. Cut the elephant in pieces, because swallow an elephant is not possible. But somebody told me that spoon by spoon you can actually eat an elephant, and I thought, yep, that's true. So voila, ArcoLinux is out. What do I have left? I have Arch. This is now an Arch system. Replace Quantum. These were all the questions they asked us in the past. Remember all the name changes? That's all it is, right? A name change. The packages often stay the same. 3 GB. Wow, right. But remember, Arch Linux keyring, right? We'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, let me get something nice to look at. Wallhaven. It's looking for Wallhaven. That's why. It's going to variety. And nothing is there. All the locations. User. Share. Backgrounds. Look at all the Arch ISOs. So that's one of the advices I've given as well to the ISO builders, so guys who want to know how an ISO is built, like we've done on ArcoLinux, like we've done on Kali, like we've done on ALCI, like we've done on AA, right? You need to follow up what happens to the package, to the application that creates the Arch Linux ISO, and that's Arch ISO. So follow that up. That's how I do it. So you do a compare between these two, and you know what changed. Backgrounds. There you are, my friend. Let's take this one. Okay, there she is. There she is, right? And that one is a nice one, and that's a nice one, and that's a nice one, and that's a nice one. All nice ones. So for the rest, yeah, we do have Nvidia in here, so that's working as well. Look at that, right? Required key, missing keyring, public keyring, pacman, etc. So we have this issue, pacman key in it. All right, let's keep that open. And now we go investigate. Where is that? Maybe we should do a where is that first. Computer, file system. This is a folder you need to know on ArcoLinux. System D. Let's make it like this. This one. This is all interesting. But this one is an interesting one, and here's the pacman init service and what's in there. Cancel. So initialize everything and populate everything and so on. Okay. Ça va. How about I do that? Sudo systemctl enable pacman init. So it is already enabled, I think. pacman-eric. Oh my god, this is quite a keyboard. Voila. It says nothing, which means it's already there. And now we start the thing. And now it says fails, he says. And then you can ask the status. That's something else that's interesting. And then we see errors could not locally be signed. So probably our keys. I'm counting like this, like 6 keys is probably what's happening. Okay. Let's do the manual stuff. Do we have fixed key already? Well, we have it already. So that's a little script that says basically what I wanted to type. So it's so much easier to remember. Key fixed keys. You'll see there are lots of aliases. So type the word alias. And what we've done, since we are human beings, right? We have different things to remember. There's key fix that works. There is key fix that works with that dash, without dash. Fix key that works. Fix key together that works. So as long as you remember one of them, you see the key is in order. Let's see if we can update now. Okay, and now we got the keys. This is not our key, right? This is the key from Arch. I do not have a guy called Leonidas Spiropoulos, something like that. No. So stop, Control C, sudo pacman -s Arch Linux keyring. Let's get it in. Let's hope the guy is in there. And that's the job of ArcoLinux. They have to make sure that whoever is building those packages, that the keys are in the keyring. Otherwise, pacman says, I don't know that guy. I don't trust him, basically. And that's why if you choose as an ISO builder, ISO creator, to sign keys, then you're in for a long treat, a long road, because it has to work always. These keys have to be on your system, otherwise pacman says, I'm not sure whose package this is, but I do not trust it. Right, I have a 2 terabyte SSD again, good, in reserve. After this video I'll put in ArcoLinux XL 22.04. So the challenge is gone. Right now the machine just goes on and 1,000 packages to install. What I could and would do later on is that it all depends, right, with which ISO you start. But if you have the ArcoLinux bin package, you get a bin folder. And in the bin folder is the stay rolling, and that's where we say if you want to move from ISO this to ISO that, ISO this to ISO that, so we jump from July to September, from August to November, and September, and so on. So you'll get here 2022, if of course you do a scal. Our stuff is in here. In here we get our updates. At some point in time, right, if it gets to the bin one, we're halfway there, it will add folders, and it's your choice if you want to have those folders on your home directory, in my case /home/Eric. So with the command scal, that's how we copy paste and make a backup. You can do it manually, it's all up to you. You can never do it, it's all good. Now, talking about never do it, if you're on tiling window managers, yeah, tiling managers are controlled by with whatever is in here, most often in .config, but the .xmonad exists as well, so at this level, not in here. But in here is a lot, right? I've noticed that my ISO builder is filled with all kinds of things. Take a look at this one. This machine has Cinnamon, GNOME, i3, OpenBox, Dusk, i3, OpenBox. Right? It's incredible how many things work together without any issue, but some of them will. All it requires is knowledge to let them work together. And also, well, if it's not nice, okay, whatever. There has to be some whatever attitude as well, because files will determine the look, and some of the files will be shared, right? Like the GTK one will be shared. So if you set it in one, it will be set in others. So scale it is, I suppose. Scale it is. Now I did not see any .config here. Was the bin not there, or was it? He's still copy pasting everything. He's not only copy pasting, he's making a backup, right? Backup, backup. That's the date. Backup. So that takes a while, the backup. The longer, the bigger this thing is. And .config is actually quite big, I think. Properties, 2.2 gigabyte backup, right? That's what I wanted to know, right? So sudo pacman -s ArcoLinux. Natuurlijk. Natuurlijk is of course in Dutch. Of course it's not there. Alright, we are pure Arch. Yes, we are. We are pure Arch. None of the ArcoLinux packages have been updated. So of course I will be waiting for Godot, if you know that play. So it will never come. So now we have a ArcoLinux that's up to date. You feel me coming. We go back to pacman. We have a look at the repo. Repo 1, repo 2, repo 3, repo 4. No, 3 repos. Ctrl X. Yes, please update. Okay. And now it's getting the databases from there as well. We do also name changes, and we can do that too. So yes. Is that true? Is it that much? Oh my god. Eric, what did you do? Alright, go get it. So yeah, probably this is the ISO where the SSD where I've installed probably the majority of software that we have. Yep. On our Calamaris, I think. Lots of things anyway that I've installed on this one. Yeah, those things I will never install, so I'll guess I did a bunch of stuff, or because of the building maybe, because this was the isobuilder, right? It was the PC that gave you the packages, that gave you the ISOs. Till November last year. So 187, which means probably that all these guys is coming from our repo, which leads me to think the narco mirror lists. Everything's coming from seathost. The first one. From the Amsterdam high-speed road. Yep. And now we can have a look on this 2022, right? And he knows our keys. Why? Fix key. That's what we typed. So if you see people having troubles with ArcoLinux keys, right? ArcoLinux keys, then you say fix key. If it's ArcoLinux keys, then you say ArcoLinux keyring. That's the difference. Even Google Earth is installed here, which is awesome. If you had never installed it, you should do it. It's first for children and like me, yeah. It's awesome. Visit parts of the world by sitting in your chair. It's always awesome. Oh, can't do it to the two things at the same time, I guess. I'll do it later on. Yeah, it's great. You can zoom in and scroll, and you touch the globe and it turns to the left and to the right. You zoom in to the pyramids in Egypt and you name it. It's just there. The Eiffel Tower is there. It's just all there. That's great, right? Being on holiday behind your computer. What did we teach? Not much. Synthesis. Get rid of the ArcoLinux repos, become an ArcoLinux OS. Fixing OS, the ArcoLinux OS first, boils down to keyrings. ArcoLinux keyring, install that first because we saw we had an issue. Well, it might be without issues as well. So if there's no new person, no new keys, everything is just fine, right? But if so, if it's an issue, do that. Then we've added our ArcoLinux repo, got a few things in, and here you see that we have nothing to do. If you installed with the ISO of March, then there's nothing to do, and if you open it, there is nothing to see. Right? Cool. Just a message, nothing to do. I'll use that file, but otherwise it's, hey, we gotta stay rolling, we gotta do some things, and in this case we're installing this guy. And no need, if you don't trust all these things, scripts, I get it. So Ctrl-Shift-V, you can just copy paste and then do it like this, and that's fine as well. And then see what happens. Okay, this and that. This actually is for this kind of message. Sudo make init CPIO -p. From time to time, this will happen to your system. And there were these missing firmware kind of things that were bugging us, and I said, can't we do something about it? And sure you can. So there is this Linux firmware. Well, different guys. I was thinking about a package that includes all of them. Name, right? Names are important. Now, names. The other day I told as well, names, this is ideal to choose for names. If you don't know and just know part of it, firm, you know, then you go for it and see if you find it like this. Because this is an old one, I think. It has been split into pieces. Fragmentation bomb. This is the one, I think. That's the one, right? Optional firmware for default to get rid of the annoying warning, and so on and so on. So install like this. Authentication failed, no problem. Make init CPIO. Now I know what the name is. Make init CPIO and then firmware. That was it. So you get a lot of stuff in. It's not much. It's kilobytes, right? It's nothing. But take a look. There are no more of these warnings and messages and all that. That's just gone, and that's great. It seems I have more than one kernel here. Let's have a look. Computer, file system, boot. No, everything looks normal. But I do have this installed, which I normally don't. So maybe a good thing to show you that as well. Sudo pacman -remove Intel ucode. You decide whether you need it or not. Mostly I'm too lazy to do it. I see it was here available. Want to know what it is? Archwiki Intel ucode read. All right. I think my Sherlock Holmes ambitions are gone. I mean, it's gonna boot and voila, everything is okay. And this is ArcoLinux. It's always fixable, that's one thing, and it's always updatable. It's just your knowledge that is required, or maybe your actions and some common sense. Get rid of errors, and sure, you can update already ArcoLinux stuff, then second attempt the ArcoLinux stuff, then maybe third attempt your stuff coming from the AOR that you've installed extra. Et voila. Last but not least, Let me end with a little bit of promotion. Again. It is so important, guys. Git Nemesis is a little text you can type. And now, on any computer system, if you run that, you get a data folder. And in the data folder, you'll get an ArcoLinux Nemesis script. Okay. And from time to time, it's an old one. And from time to time, if you think, oh, it's a month ago since I had a look, take a look at this git pull. This is a great view of things. All kinds of things have been changed. Conflict, rename conflict. I'm not sure if this is actually gonna work. So, if unsure, don't start typing, start copy pasting. This is my GitHub. Control C. Well, okay, I'll show both ways. So, as I said, this is gonna go away. So, voila. Either you say, I'm gonna go for like this, gone, and then git clone and what we just copy pasted. That's better, right? That's the code of now. The other option, which is the get Nemesis, that's the same thing. What is in here, it says the same thing. Make a directory in your home, data, ArcoLinux Nemesis, put it in there, git clone, done. This could be your reference for any future styling, installation of applications, install stuff, and make it personal. Make your ArcoLinux personal. If I can do it, you can do it. Take a look at the code, it's not that difficult, and if there are questions, you know me, I'll make tutorials. So this is what I've been doing like forever on all my machines. I run the script 0 current choices, and voila, is going to go over all the things I decide at that particular moment in time that's important. I'm not gonna go for these 2 guys or 3 guys and not that one and not that one, but all the rest is going to be installed. Or they run it or removed, right? Or removed. Now, watch out with Nvidia and Nvidia DKMS and all that, the drivers. It's important that you don't end in a black screen. So test it out before running your scripts on the real metal machine, on the machine that you use it daily, right? Test it out. VirtualBox. Go test it. And if it works fine, then great. Then you have a script that can work on your real metal daily computer system. Voila, I'm out. I hope I've taught you something. And it even knows that I've left WM, so it's gonna get, so it really is a very interesting thing to do stuff. The machine knows, scripts know, hey, left WM is installed on this system and it's getting all my themes at the same time, so I don't have to do it. I could walk away and have a dinner and come back and everything will be installed or removed or whatever. I put in those scripts, and that's the power. I have an employee. He's working for me, right? While I'm away from the computer. All right, cheers.